Hello, hi everybody, I'm Thekla Petridou, a Greek Cypriot psychologist, author and YouTuber, and this is our weekly video in English. This video, as you can obviously see, is recorded in my car while I'm parked waiting for my optometrist to open her shop. Today's subject is an interesting one, and I got the idea from last night's video in Greek. Small acts of self-love. A young lady who has been watching my YouTube channel regularly, and she sent an email to me next year asking about how to overcome her difficulties in her personal relationships, emailed me a few days ago, and she said that she took my advice and she started going to therapy. She's on therapy for a year now. She feels that she has come a long way since she managed to clear her life from toxicity and to discontinue toxic relationships with people around her, but still she has difficulty overcoming codependency, and her major difficulty is to understand practically on how to love herself. She wrote to me that many psychologists, many self-help book writers advise people to love themselves, but she doesn't know how to do it practically. What are some practical ways to exercise self-love? How do you do it? Some people might tell you you should look for a hobby. You should enroll on dancing classes, or you should enroll on music classes, or you should get to a community where you will meet regularly with other people, have a hobby that will make you feel better. She says she tried all this, she tried to push herself to enroll on activities or to take up on hobbies, but she didn't feel like loving herself that way. On the contrary, she felt that she was pushing herself to do something that she didn't really want to do. So she asked on my opinion on how practically, how you put in practice the preaching of love thyself, love yourself. I'm going to answer her question from a personal point of view and based to my personal experience. I am also a therapist, I'm a psychologist, and I really don't use this kind of preaching like you should love yourself. I wouldn't say that. Maybe on my videos I might say loving yourself is a better idea than trying to get into a love relationship. I've said that, but I wouldn't tell people love yourself or don't get stressed or be happy or don't be anxious, because I don't think that this preaching is helping anybody to feel any better. On the contrary, when you preach people on how to be better, on how to lead a healthier life, or how to make their life more interesting or more happy or more, psychologically balanced, then you might end up making them feel bad about themselves, that they are not good enough, so that to maintain that preaching of yours, and they are not able to exercise it. Nobody is going to love themselves if we just tell them, you should love yourself. No. I will propose something else. Let's ask ourselves these questions. Who am I? Who am I? What are my basic characteristics? What are my basic needs? What do I need in life? In order to love yourself, the first thing you need to do is to cover your basic needs. Your basic physical needs and your basic emotional needs. If you look at the prioritization of needs, of human needs according to Beck, he puts the emotional needs above the physical needs. But in my opinion, emotional needs are also important as physical needs. Physical needs, it's easy to know what they are. It's You need to have a house, you need to have housing, you need to have a roof to sleep under, you need to have clothes to wear, food to eat. And the truth is that many people around the world are not able to fulfill their basic physical needs. We live in privileged societies, we live in Western societies, most of the people watching these videos, and we take for granted that we have a bed, that we have a house to sleep and stay safe, that we have a place to go where no rain, no sun, no wind, no snow will come after us. And we tend to think for granted all these things that for so many people around the world are not granted. There is so much poverty around the world. But people who watch this video, most possibly they might be well off or in a good situation where they have a house, they have the basic food and their basic needs covered. If anybody watching this video don't have their basic needs covered, my opinion is that they should try to contact the social services of the country they live in and ask for guidance and ask for any help from the society, from the structures of society in which they live, so as to cover their basic needs. But I said that basic needs are not just physical needs, they are also emotional needs. We humans have the need to feel connected. This is our basic emotional need. We need to connect with other people. We need to communicate with other people. We need to be heard. We need to show ourselves to other people. In order to feel well with ourselves, we need to get recognition from people around us. And the recognition, it's on the same level as connecting or having a human connection. I've said so many times about the Boston study or the Harvard study about happiness, which showed that people who are in deep, meaningful connections, they are more possible to be happy and live happy and fulfilled lives rather than people not having deep, meaningful connections. Loving yourself can be achieved through deep, meaningful connections. If you have these connections in your environment, just cherish them. If you have good connection and healthy connection with your family members, cherish it. Take care of it. Take care of the relationship, because relationships need to be taken care of. You need to communicate often with people. You need to express your feelings. You need to express your positive feelings. If you have a problem with them, you should talk about it. Be open. Everything to be out in the open so that communication is not blocked in any way. If you don't have any deep, meaningful connections in your life, you should try to establish some. I know that many people come from difficult family backgrounds, and even though they would love to have good, deep, meaningful connections with their parents or with their siblings or their grandparents or the extended family, they are not able to do so because they are born in toxic families. These people should invest time and energy in finding at least a couple of individuals that are like-minded, like them. They have the same ways of thinking, the same ways of acting, they have the same understanding of life, and try to build a relationship, a friendly relationship. It's not easy to build a friendly relationship because you need to invest time and energy. And you need to be thoughtful, and you need to be careful so that to read the signs, to see if the other person that you want to be friends with is willing, and you should accept the willingness, and you should invest time and energy on that relationship, or you should be able to see that you might try to reach to somebody for a friendship, and that person might not be in a position to have new friends in their lives, or they may not be in a position to have a friendship with you or whatever. You should take it seriously. It's like a project, I want to have friends. I've been on this route for many years because since I was a young child, I wasn't fitting in, not in my family setting, not in my school setting, not in my community setting. I was always the odd one out. It was very difficult for me to make friends with people. At the beginning, I tried too much. I was giving too much in my friendships, and I wasn't looking for any signs if the other person that I'm trying to befriend is someone that we could be good friends with or not, because some people they might look good to be friends with, but if you get to know them better, you might see that their character or their way of thinking is so dissimilar to yours. And I was begging people to be my friends. Then in my 20s, I realized that I shouldn't beg anyone to be my friend. So I stopped begging people. I stopped giving too much on my friendships. And then I had a very, very long period of loneliness without so many significant friends. But around my 30s, I decided that I should invest on friendships. So I managed to establish some friendships with people that there is common understanding and we are speaking on the same terms. Some people that when I have something happy to share with them, I can call them or meet them and share my happiness with them. Or if I have something sad in my life, I can share my pain with them. And the same goes for them. I'm so happy to hear their good news, and I'm being sympathetic and empathetic when they're going through something. It's been difficult for me also to find friends, but it's an adventure. It's an adventure towards friendship, which is worth it. It's worth it to spend the time on establishing healthy friendships. And it's even more worth it than spending all this time in flirting and trying to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm not against that, but I really don't believe that having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend, it's something that makes you happy. According to my personal and professional experience, most people feel very unhappy in their romantic relationships. So if I spend too much energy investing on finding a new romantic partner, that might lead to my becoming unhappy. But if I invest time and energy on finding a true friend, this can be very rewarding. Other small acts of self-love are these. Take care of your health. Take care of your health regularly. Make your annual tests. Go to your doctors. Monitor your health. Take care of your diet, so that in order to feel well and in order to show real love to yourself and to your body, you should feed your body with wholesome, delicious and nutritious food. Another act of self-love is to give yourself the space and the time to have a good night's sleep, and most importantly, for me at least, a good afternoon siesta. Having a deep sleep, if you sleep well, then you have your energy restored and then you feel well. If some of us have something like depressive symptoms or anxiety symptoms, it would be a perfect idea, a very good idea, to go and see a clinical psychologist or even a psychiatrist as well, in order to get therapy to address depression and to address anxiety. Because anxiety, fears, phobias and depression makes us distant from ourselves and they ruin the relationship with ourselves. Another act of self-love is to give yourself the opportunity to enjoy things that you like. It might be a walk in nature. It might be a relaxing massage that you can give as a present to yourself. It might be some holidays that you allow yourself to have. Most of us are workaholics, me also. And we don't allow themselves enough time to relax, enough time to get rest, and enough time to feel to feel that we are human and we are taking care of ourselves. Working and working hard is not in human nature. It's unnatural to work. Working, going to work, having all these work schedules and long hours working is derived from our civilization. Our civilization is imposing us to work. I'm not against work. I love working and I love my job because I really do what I like, but it continues to be something unnatural. The natural thing is to wake up in the morning, to enjoy the sun, to have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, to be relaxed in nature, to think of what would you like to eat for breakfast, prepare your breakfast, eat your breakfast, read a book, have a nap, then think what would I love to eat for lunch, go and shop for what you want to cook, fresh food, fresh vegetables, fresh meat if you are a meat eater, or fresh fish if you like fish, or fresh vegetables only if you are a vegan or a vegetarian. Anyway, cook a good food for you. Eat your food. Then enjoy siesta, which is sleeping in the afternoon. Then wake up and go for a walk in nature. That could also be an exercise. Meet with some friends. Invite people over for dinner. Listen to some music. Enjoy the food you cooked, or go to a restaurant in places where restaurants are open, because now we're in the midst of the pandemic. In Cyprus, restaurants have opened for 8-9 days now, but in most of the other European countries the restaurants are closed. Anyway, do things with other people and just be. So since our job and working so many hours is so natural, it's good to give ourselves the opportunity to have holidays from our job, or to use our weekends as best as possible in order to feel human, to feel natural, to feel normal, and to show love to ourselves. And my last piece of advice, I know this video doesn't cover all the subject of what loving yourself is. I'm just giving some ideas, brainstorming. My last piece of advice is that we should understand ourselves, give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, be kind and loving to ourselves so as to forgive ourselves for our misdemeanors and our mistakes, and giving ourselves the chance to rise from our ashes like phoenixes. I send my love to you, and I really do wish that we all find the time and find the motivation to practice self-love. Bye. See you next Friday.